United Progressive
Come and make the right choice.
The United.
We gon' make the right choice.
The United.
Come let's make the right choice. The right choice. UPP ready to run the country. Sustainable growth and opportunity. UPP the right choice for we. The right choice. The right choice. If you love Antigua, if you love Barbuda, UPP is the right choice for we. Vote for integrity, accountability, transparency. We are the right choice. If you want a better nation, vote UPP. More schools for education, vote UPP. Agricultural expansion, vote UPP. That's the UPP intention. Get vote for UPP and make the right choice. Vote for UPP, showing stability. Vote for UPP, if you love your country. Vote. This is the urgency of now. The United Progressive Party. Time for all the fire, the ALP. How we are uplift the youth them and I create more jobs in the country. Yeah. The right team, the right mindset, and character to get the job done. Yeah. Senior citizens, no worry, no fret. Bright ideas are gonna come your way, don't forget. United all my people, we gon' stand up. Vote. Progressive thinking people time to move up. Vote for integrity, accountability, transparency. Vote for the right choice. Raise your finger for the right choice. Let we vote. Raise your finger for the right choice. Vote, let we vote. Raise your finger, make the right choice. Right choice. UPP are the right choice for you and me. Hey, if you love Antigua, if you love Barbuda, UPP are the right choice for we. To fix the economy, more stability. UPP are the right choice for we. Social development, youth empowerment. UPP are the right choice for we. So who you gonna vote for then? So who you gonna vote for? UPP are the right choice for we. The United Progressive Party. Them are the one, them are the right choice for economic recovery and stability. Them know how to run the country. Too long now people can't see no upliftment. A time blue team run parliament for social enhancement and development. More infrastructure for technology. Blue team, UPP are the right choice for we. Aye, we have a leader with a Black Panther, a dynamic team with a fresh agenda. No more dictatorship, just good leadership. We lead the country in a prosperity and bring development to every community. Blue team, you know them are the right choice for with them build a new airport and hospital for with free meals for the students of the country. Let we vote, UPP are the right choice for we. Let we vote, UPP are the right choice for we. Let we vote, let we vote now. For UPP, vote the right choice. Vote for honesty. Vote the right choice. Vote integrity. Vote the right choice. Vote the right choice. B the right choice. B the right choice. B the right choice. Are the right choice. Are the right choice. Vote for the right choice.
The United Progressive Party. The right choice. The United Progressive
Come and make the right choice.
The United.
We gon' make the right choice.
The right choice.
Come let's make the right choice. The right choice. UPP ready to run the country. Sustainable growth and opportunity. UPP the right choice for we. The right choice. The right choice. If you love Antigua, if you love Barbuda, UPP is the right choice for we. Vote for integrity, accountability, transparency. We are the right choice. If you want a better nation, vote UPP. More schools for education, vote UPP. Agricultural expansion, vote UPP. That's the UPP intention. Get vote for UPP and make the right choice. Vote for UPP, showing stability. Vote for UPP, if you love your country. Vote. This is the urgency of now. The United Progressive Party. Time for all the fire, the ALP.
How we a uplift the youth them and a create more jobs in the country. Yeah. The right team, the right mindset, and character to get the job done. Yeah. Senior citizens, no worry, no fret. Brighter days are gonna come your way, don't forget.
United all my people, we gon' stand up. Vote. Progressive thinking people time to move up. Vote for integrity, vote. Accountability, vote. Transparency, vote for the right choice. Vote. Raise your finger for the right choice. Vote, let we vote. Raise your finger for the right choice.
Vote, let we vote.
Raise your finger, make the right choice.
Right choice.
UPP are the right choice for you and me. Hey, if you love Antigua, if you love Barbuda, UPP are the right choice for we. To fix the economy, more stability. UPP are the right choice for we. Social development, youth empowerment. UPP are the right choice for we. So who you gonna vote for then? So who you gonna vote for? UPP are the right choice for we.
The United Progressive Party. Them are the right choice for economic recovery and stability. Them know how to run the country. Too long now people can't see no upliftment. A time blue team run parliament with social enhancement and development. More infrastructure for technology. Blue team, UPP are the right choice for we. Aye, we have a leader with a Black Panther, a dynamic team with a fresh agenda. No more dictatorship, just good leadership. We lead the country in a prosperity and bring development to every community. Blue team, you know them are the right choice for with them build a new airport and hospitals for with free meals for the students of the country.
Let we vote, UPP are the right choice for we. Let we vote, UPP are the right choice for we. Let we vote, let we vote now. For UPP, vote
the right choice.
Vote for honesty, vote
the right choice.
Vote integrity, vote
the right choice.
Vote
the right choice. The right choice.
The right choice.
The right choice.
The right choice.
The right choice.
Vote for the right choice.
The United Progressive Party. The right choice. The United Progressive
Come and make the right choice.
The United Choice.
We gon' make the right choice. The right choice. Come, let's make the right choice. The right choice. UPP ready to run the country. Sustainable growth and opportunity. UPP the right choice for we. The right choice. With the right choice. If you love Antigua, if you love Barbuda, UPP is the right choice for we. Vote for integrity, accountability, transparency. We are the right choice. If you want a better nation, UPP. More schools for education, UPP. Agricultural expansion, UPP. That's the UPP intention. Yeah, vote for UPP and make the right choice. Vote for UPP, showing stability. Vote for UPP, if you love your country. Vote. This is the urgency of now.
The United Progressive Party. Time for all the fire, the LP. How we a uplift the youth them and a create more jobs in the country. Yeah. The right team, the right mindset, and character to get the job done. Yeah. Senior citizens, no worry, no fret. Brighter days are gonna come your way, don't forget.
United all my people, we gon' stand up. Vote. Progressive thinking people time to move up. Vote for integrity, accountability, transparency. Vote for the right choice. Raise your finger for the right choice. Vote, let we vote. Raise your finger for the right choice.
Vote, let we vote.
Raise your finger, make the right choice.
Right choice.
UPP are the right choice for you and me. Hey, if you love Antigua, if you love Barbuda, UPP are the right choice for we. To fix the economy, more stability. UPP are the right choice for we. Social development, youth empowerment. UPP are the right choice for we. So who you gonna vote for then? So who you gonna vote for? UPP are the right.
UPP TV presents The Right Choice, a show created to highlight the candidates of the United Progressive Party and their ideas and plans for the future. Here's your host for The Right Choice, Dr. Jackie Quinn.
Good evening and welcome. Welcome to the second edition of The Right Choice. The Right Choice, as you know, is designed to bring you, the audience, close and personal with all of the candidates of the United Progressive Party. We share their motivations, their vision, their plans for their communities, and we also share with you a little about their lives, their backgrounds, the substance of these candidates, and the essence of the people who will represent you in various constituencies across Antigua and Barbuda. This week we are featuring two fine gentlemen who are respected and revered in their various communities and also in their various professions, the legal profession and the broadcasting profession. I'm sure you've guessed who our guests are tonight. Sheffield Bowen, the right choice for St. Philip South, and Algernon Watts, the right choice for St. George. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We're going to start with some introductions and some bios of our special guests tonight. Sheffield Bowen, before we do the intro, I think we should share with you. We are live on all of our social media platforms. So if you are on Progressive 107.3, stay there. If you're on UPP TV, on YouTube, stay there. If you're on Facebook, we're also there. And those of you who are joining us in the diaspora on the Zoom platform, please do continue to share your comments, give your questions, because at the end of the show, what we try to do is to share as many comments and questions as possible. Sheffield Bowen. Sheffield P. Bowen first came to public life in the 1990s, driven by a desire to change the dynamics of the body politic and dared to propose leadership that would rest on the firm pillars of good governance, accountability, and transparency, the principles on which he would challenge the Antigua Labour Party administration in the early years of this century and expose its failings in all three. Although Bowen left active politics almost 20 years ago, he never abandoned his calling to service, to empower the ordinary man and woman, to positively impact lives, and to foster an enlightened democracy. A community-minded individual to the core, Bowen brings impeccable and unassailable credentials, experience, and competencies to the people of St. Philip South. His academic foundation was laid at the historic Bethesda Primary School, and then he went on to the Pierce Secondary School. Bowen left Antigua to further his education at the City University of New York Lehman College, earning a BSc in accounting cum laude in 1989. Other professional credentials followed in 1990 as he distinguished himself as a chartered financial consultant and a chartered life underwriter through the American College in Pennsylvania. He then became a certified financial planner through the College for Financial Planning in Denver, Colorado. After credentialing as a finance professional, Bowen attended the prestigious Howard University School of Law in Washington, D.C., graduating in 1994 with a Juris Doctor degree, again cum laude. That same year, he became a certified public accountant with the Maryland State Board of Accountancy, and at the same time qualified as a lawyer in New York State. Over his career, he has been employed in finance, first at the Antigua Commercial Bank as an accountant, Prudential Insurance Company, Bronx, New York, as a registered representative, and the New York Advisory Group, Tarrytown, New York, as a certified financial planner. He later established the successful accounting firm of SPB, Tax and Accounting Services in New York, where his clientele included not only Antiguans and Barbudans and other CARICOM nationals in the diaspora, but Chinese and Middle Eastern business owners and hinterland Africans in that diaspora. Bowen returned to Antigua in 1996 and served as a tax consultant to the government between 1997 and 1999. In 1999, he was elected to Parliament as the member for St. Philip South. He served the communities of St. Philip South effectively and competently from 1999 to 2004, holding the position of Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. His commitment to the people of this constituency has never wavered. Still residing in his community and currently the senior attorney at Bowen & Bowen law firm, Mr. Bowen still regards himself as the boy from Bethesda, taking on the odds and conquering them all. For such a time as this, Sheffield, the real deal, is standing up to serve with the United Progressive Party, which he describes as not only the best hope, but the only hope for Antigua and Barbuda. Sheffield P. Bowen, the right choice for St. Philip South.
That is absolutely correct.
Very comprehensive CV. Thank you for joining us here this evening. Let us go to Algernon Watts. Algernon Watts, internationally known as Serpent, of Observer Radio's Snake Pit fame. He's a brand new entrant into elected politics. For nearly 20 years, he has shaped public opinion on social and political issues and earned himself a devoted following here and in the diaspora. But given the economic, moral, and political decline of the country, he has decided to be the change he wants to see. And he sees the United Progressive Party as the vehicle for that change. A favorite son of the Pegots and Potters communities, Watts is steeped in the values, personalities, and loyalties of the people he aspires to serve. Accordingly, he was overwhelmingly selected to become the party's candidate for St. George, a constituency that is both large and diverse, and I should know that. He proclaims himself ready and capable of doing just that, bringing representation to the people. A man of many gifts, Watts is currently the managing director of the country's largest media house, Newsco, Observer, Hits FM, and a renowned disc jockey. At the same time, he's a farmer and a debt collector, an events organizer and promoter, a feared researcher, and a respected archivist. Watts is a founding member and was the first president of the good governance advocacy group called The Movement. Under the tagline, Ready to Rebel, he was responsible for galvanizing protest action against the current administration on a number of controversial issues. And he has proved his mettle time and time again by championing numerous social causes and mobilizing assistance for needy persons. Most notable is the role he and the movement played in welcoming and provisioning the people of Barbuda immediately after the devastation of the island in 2017. Watts is also one of the movers and shakers of the patriotic group, the Faithful Nationals, a coalition of organizations and individuals fighting for the interest of Antigua and Barbuda. He has served the community as the manager of Rattlers Cycling Club and the Calypso Fraternity as an MC and promoter of the art form. He has lent his voice and his significant influence to numerous fundraising and charitable endeavors. A graduate of the Antigua State College's engineering department, Watts completed his secondary education in Trinidad after leaving the Seventh-day Adventist school. A devoted father, he considers his children not only his greatest accomplishments, but his inspiration for changing the status quo in Antigua and Barbuda. Algernon Watts, the right choice for St. George. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Now, listeners, viewers, you've heard a lot about the accomplishments, the achievements, the qualifications of these candidates. We're going to take a short break. Please remember, you can send your questions, you can give comments as the show is going, so that we can share them at the end of the evening. We're going to take a short commercial break, and we'll be right back to delve into our discussion with these two fine gentlemen. Do stay with us.
It's time to join the family at the People's Cooperative Credit Union Limited. We offer savings accounts, deposits, fixed deposits, loans, among other related services. You can even become a shareholder by purchasing a minimum of 50 shares at $5 per share. Membership is super easy and convenient. Just visit our newly opened credit union building on Upper Newgate Street, Monday to Fridays, 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. with proof of ID and address, along with $15 to cover registration and passbook. And you'll be set and on your way. For further information, call 462-8888 or 727-2285. People's Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Today, tomorrow, together.
I just feel like people not understand me. I don't want to even give me a chance. Go to school, my hard skill. I'm a hard worker, but there's just not enough jobs out there. The economy is so bad that I'm ashamed to say that we're in the year 2022 and water hardly one near the pipe. Now them can't tell how we, in order to get a job, I must take the job. I understand the vaccine is a good thing and all that, but I just hate the fact that it's mandated. It's my body, it's my choice. I shouldn't be denied a job, education, or benefits because the choices I make for my body. For me, this time, personally, the UPP is the right choice because they are the party of choice.
Welcome back to The Right Choice here on UPP TV, on all of our media platforms, Progressive 107.3, on the Zoom platform, on the YouTube, and of course on Facebook as well. Remember, please send us your comments, please send us your questions as we go along the program, and you may be just lucky to hear your question or comment read out at the end of the show. Now, gentlemen, I'd like to start off by getting into the minds of our candidates, getting a feel for what would have prompted you to get into active politics. Why did you decide to run for politics? And I understand that there's a standard here, age before handsomeness. So I'll start with you, Mr. Bowen.
What makes me decide to...
Although I'm not saying that you're not handsome.
Yeah.
You're very handsome.
Thank you, thank you. What made me decide to get into politics? I was motivated from a very young age of wanting to serve.
Yes.
Throughout my life, my working life, I've always worked in service. I started out as a banker serving people, then I became an accountant doing taxes for people. I became a lawyer helping people, and I've always been a person to help. And my first foray in the politics in 1999 to 2004, I felt a good feeling when I helped people. And then as I watched the decay of the community and what was happening, I felt a need for me to re-emerge and to venture back into the ring and to offer service to the people. So my motivation is just really to serve and to help my community.
So you're at the forefront of your mind is really about service, because your entire life has been about service.
Correct.
To people.
Yes.
Excellent. Algernon, how do you want me to refer to you? Algernon, Serpent, Mr. Watts?
Whatever makes you comfortable.
Okay, so same question. Why did you decide to enter politics? Because you have significant influence across the community, across the world.
Well, unlike my colleague, I've resisted and have been resisting the urge to get involved. I've been asked on a number of occasions, but this was just never me. I never thought of myself in the political arena. But maybe I had a come to Jesus moment. Over the past 20 years, I've seen a lot, I've heard a lot, and the more you sit back and you think about this, look, there comes a time in your life where you have to put your personal feeling aside and think about what's best for the country, what's best for everybody involved, and yeah, that's why I decided, hey, let me get off the sidelines. I've done a lot, but I could do more. So I'm off the sidelines, willing to assist, aid in whatever way I can.
And you have, over the years, been encouraged by people in your community to roll up your sleeves and get in, because people see you as someone who can represent them and be a spokesperson for them.
Well, that is something that I've always done.
Yes.
Even in school, from school growing up, that's who I am, really. I've always stood for people, fought for people, defended people. And yes, I've been asked by a number of people, but I just never thought, I never saw myself in this political arena until, I guess, there's never the wrong time to do the right thing. So,
that's right.
Here I am.
Excellent. Now, we have seen over the past 7.5, 8 years, the absolute lowest denominator in terms of the quality of leadership that we currently have in office. We have reached the lowest of the low. What in general do you think are the qualities of a good community leader? And any of you could take this. Mr. Boyd.
I think the most important quality of a good community leader is love of people. You have to have a genuine love of people, a love of country, and just wanting to help and to build. When my first term of office, the thing that gave me the greatest joy is helping someone,
yes,
assisting someone, developing someone, or something in the community. So I think the empathy, the humility, and the desire to make a difference is the greatest attributes of a community leader.
I like the fact that you talk about that need to make a difference and empathizing, because a lot of people don't realize that quality of empathy.
Yes.
You know, walking in the other person's shoes, walking in your constituent's shoes and seeing and feeling for them. And I think certainly you have demonstrated that in all of the things that you've done with your life. And now in St. Philip South, we're going to have certainly an empathetic leader here.
Yes.
What about you?
I think a good leader brings people along.
Yes.
Okay? Holds their hands, walk with them. We've been doing that. I myself, I've been doing that for most of my life. As Sheriff said, and I agree with him 100%, you have to love people. You have to care about people. You have to be able to do everything in your power to make your colleagues, the community, better. It's not about yourself. It's not about your self-enrichment or aggrandizement. It's about the people that are with you and taking them along, bringing them along. So that in a nutshell is what I think a good leader is.
Now, you have done many outstanding feats. You've made significant strides in your various fields, in law, in banking, in accounting, in broadcasting. What would you single out as your proudest achievement, your proudest moment, your finest moment?
It's not something that is discussed often, but I think, to me, the one thing look back and smile and say, thank you, God, for putting me in the right position at the right time. It was a few years ago when Hurricane Irma devastated our sister island of Barbuda. 2017, and a number of, well, the entire island was evacuated to Antigua. And those of you who remember the story know that they were just brought here, left up, down the Heritage Key area. I was just getting into work at the time when we got the call, and we sprang into action. And let me tell you, I was at the studio. I don't remember who else was there with me. And that night we marshaled the troops. Yes. The entire country got together. I've never seen such outpouring of love from a brother to another here in Antigua, the way it was that night after Hurricane Irma when the Barbudans were evacuated to Antigua. And for me, just being there, manning the ship, for me was my proudest achievement.
Yeah, and it demonstrated your leadership acumen. Because, I mean, your organization, you were the ones, the movement, you were the ones who marshaled all of the resources to get things going.
Yes, you know, with the help of the people of Antigua and Barbuda.
Right.
So, yeah, that's it for me.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Shirley?
I've had many situations that I feel proud of myself in achieving. I think what I may consider to be the best is when I went to New York and decided to go to college, and the process of going to college, earning my own way, and having that determination that somehow I'm going to make it. From the beginning to the end, when I graduated from law school, it must have been my proudest achievement. That I have done it, I made it, 7 years of study and funding myself, working my way, and depending on myself to make it all the way through.
Wow. And you have done a lot of studying, because when I looked at your resume, I said, I mean, you've done accounting, yes. You've done financial planning,
right.
I mean, and then law. You are an academic, I would say.
No.
Yes.
The process was hard, because I remember at Lehman College, I worked in the day. First I worked construction during the day, and I go to college at nights. I go to college anywhere from 3:30 until 11 o'clock at nights, every day, Monday to Friday. And on weekends, I have all day school. And so working and studying, it was very difficult, but I persevered. So.
Now I'm going to put you guys on the spot a little bit. Give me 3 words, because we're trying to get the audience to know you and to understand you and to feel you. Give me 3 words that you would use to describe yourself.
3 words that I would use to describe me. Strong. Mm-hmm. Brave. Determined.
Wow. And I think your entire life has embodied those 3 words.
There you go.
Strong, brave, determined. I like that. Strong, brave, determined. Mr. Bowen, you can top those.
For me, I think humility, humble. I also think that I'm very determined, and when I want something, I stick to it to the end. Mm-hmm. So I'm determined, focused, and humble.
Determined, focused, and humble. Those are the words that Sherfield has described himself as, and serpent. Strong, brave, and determined. I like that. That's why you are the right choice for St. George and for St. Philip's. So, now, what is something, again, we're trying to share as much about you. What is something about you that nobody, certainly that I would never ever guess something that you have never shared with, with your radio audience, with your family, with your community. Don't shock us too much.
Okay. Something about me that most people would not know. I'm a very shy individual.
What?
See?
Really?
I'm a very shy individual. Very shy.
But you're able to mask it? Is that?
That's a persona. You would understand. You've been in the media. You
Yes.
know. When I put my headphones on, that's a different
Yes, yes,
animal.
yes.
When I take the headphones off, I go back to being me.
But would you say you're introverted or you're shy to meet people?
Very shy meeting people.
I hear people sometimes describe it as being a little socially inept, but I don't think that we would describe you as that at all.
Nah, I don't like, I'm not describing myself as inept in any which way, shape, or form, but yeah, I'm a very shy person. In my campaigning, my canvassing, that's one of the hardest things to do, to go up to a home, not knowing the individuals inside, knock on the door, and strike up a conversation.
Yeah, it takes a lot of grit.
It does. It does.
Okay, what about you, Mr. Boy?
Something that people doesn't know about me, I wouldn't guess. That I am very jovial.
Yes.
That's
Wow.
what you would know. I love to
I always
crack
see you as
jokes.
a very serious,
I like to crack jokes.
very, very serious person. Okay, so we're gonna get a couple of jokes tonight. What has required the most courage of you in life so far? Where you have to pull from way down, deep within.
I think the answer is in the question. For me, it's getting involved in this political ring. That has taken the most out of me. That has caused the most angst. That getting involved in politics. That's my answer.
What about you, Mr. Boy?
I think that the greatest demonstration of courage for me was way back in 1985 when I had a daughter who became very ill, and I had to embark upon taking her to New York to get medical care, and just to face that challenge without resources was the most courageous thing that I did.
Wow. And she was able
She is
to-
still good up to today, yes.
Excellent. Very good. Well, we're going to take a short break. We're getting into the meat of the matter. We're going to talk about your constituency. We're going to talk about your communities. And of course, nation building as well. We're going to talk about national issues as well. So please, stay with us. Remember to send your questions. Remember to send your comments. If you are on Facebook, if you are on Progressive 107.3 or on Zoom, you can participate and be a part of the right choice. We'll be right back.
It's time to join the family at the People's Cooperative Credit Union Limited. We offer savings accounts, deposits, fixed deposits, loans, among other related services. You can even become a shareholder by purchasing a minimum of 50 shares at $5 per share. Membership is super easy and convenient. Just visit our newly opened credit union building on Upper Newgate Street, Monday to Fridays, 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. with proof of ID and address, along with $15 to cover registration and passbook. And you'll be set and on your way. For further information, call 462-8888 or 727-2285. People's Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Today, tomorrow, together.
I just feel like people not understand me. I don't want to even give me a chance. Go to school, I have skill. I'm a hard worker, but there's just not enough jobs out there. The economy is so bad that I'm ashamed to say that we're in the year 2022 and water hardly one near the pipe. Now them can't tell how we, in order to get a job, I must take the job. I understand the vaccine is a good thing and all that, but I just hate the fact that it's mandated. It's my body, it's my choice. I shouldn't be denied a job, education or benefits because the choices I make for my body. For me, this time, personally, the UPP is the right choice because they are the party of choice.
Welcome back to The Right Choice here on UPP TV and on all of our media platforms. This evening we are speaking to two very fine gentlemen. The Right Choice for St. Philip South, Mr. Sherfield P. Bowen, and the Right Choice for St. George, Mr. Algernon Serpent Watts. Gentlemen, let's talk a little about your constituency. What are some of the biggest issues facing your constituency? We're not talking national now, we are going local. Let's get into your constituency. What are some of the biggest issues?
Based on the comments from the constituents, when I review all the comments, the single most response is water, lack of water. The second issue from the comments is cost of living. And the third issue is late payment of pensioners, the older people without any reservation. The primary issue is the lack of, the lateness of the payment of the pension income.
Yeah. And these issues actually are reflected across many of the communities in Antigua and Barbuda. What about St. George, Algernon?
Well, the answers that I got from canvassing, one is employment. Hands down employment. The infrastructure, the roads are horrible. Horrible. I challenged, I think it was France and some of the others. So let's compete to see which constituency has the worst roads, because I was confident I'd win. And of course, water, that's a problem. We've been, everywhere you go, that is a serious problem. So I would say the infrastructure, employment, what's the third?
Water.
Water.
And I mean, I'm sure, I mean, you've only given 3, but I'm sure there are many other issues that...
There are many, we can probably stay here all night.
Yes, yes.
Now you know St. George, and there's some community fields in St. George that have been neglected, sporting areas neglected. Just last week, we've had to get some lights to put at the basketball court in Potters. In New Winthrops, the group up there, they contacted us, they needed some assistance to get the place cleaned up and so on. So we've had to assist there again. So they've been abandoned, they've been neglected, not abandoned, but neglected. And young men from Potters in particular had to be catching rides to go to YMCA in the evening to play basketball because the court and so on up there is in terrible, terrible state. So yeah, there are a number of issues. I just gave you the top 3.
Yes. Now, where do you want to see? You've addressed some of the issues that are facing your constituency, and I'm not going to delve into how you are going to address these because you are all going to have your manifestos, and later on when the election is called, you will articulate those issues. Where do you want to see St. George and St. Philip South in terms of development in the next 5 years once you are elected to office?
I want St. George to be the pride of the nation. I want to see St. George as the pride of the nation. We have a lot of historical figures in St. George, and There's so many good stories coming out of St. George. We just have to build back the community spirit, the vibe in St. George, and make it the beacon of light that it's supposed to be. It was meant to be.
And you have one of the biggest constituencies.
I have the biggest by far, not one of.
Geographically as well as numerically.
The biggest by far. And they've since added 2 new villages, 2 new communities to St. George that was not there last election. So Brother Wenner would not have had to canvass those. So yeah,
what are those 2 communities?
It's the Shoal development in the back of New Winthrops.
Oh yes, yes,
and
yes.
the Bow Panel community to the east of Vetch.
Yes, Lightfoot, that would be part of Lightfoot.
Yes, Herbert's.
Yes, Herbert's. Oh, wow. And so your numbers are really expanding, and it means that in terms of the infrastructure and in terms of the number of people, the sheer number of people that you have to contact and to represent.
Every representative will be pushing hard for their constituency. I'm just putting on record right now that St. George needs a lot of work, and St. George has to be priority.
Okay. I believe that our political leader is listening.
And he is listening, he's paying attention.
Yeah, pay attention.
So Captain, putting you on record, St. George, top priority.
Okay, Mr. Boyne, what about you in terms of development? Where do you want to see your community?
I want to see better as Freetown, St. Philip's, back to a position of greatness, like 3 points points of light on a hill. I want to see the community beautified, develop, in terms of beautification with prune trees and safe streets and proper infrastructure. I want to see the Bethesda School, which is a historical school, back in action. It's the first school in the Caribbean, the first school in the Western Hemisphere that catered to us, black children. And it is now derelict, left to ruin. I want to see it back as the educational beam that it is. I want to see community centers and hotspots and computer centers all over being developed and being in use. I want to see people become empowered. I want to see the farming system develop, the fishing system develop. There's plenty of development I want to see in my community.
And now what are the first things that you think you'll tackle? Once you're elected, you know, you've gone through a grueling election, you're in office, the United Progressive Party is elected. What are the first things you're going to address in your constituency?
Employment. When people are working, they can pay it forward.
Yes.
Employment. That would be my number 1.
I do agree that's very important, yeah. But one of my fundamental projects for St. Philip South is to see an emergency center, a police, fire service, EMT service in the community, close enough to the community. Now we are about 15 miles away from St. John's, and maybe about 8 to 10 miles from All Saints. If you have a fire engine on All Saints or one in St. John's, and there's a fire in St. Philip South, the response is not to save, it is to, you know, just to mop up, because they cannot get there in time to help. So I would really want to see, you know, at a place like Curtis Hill, to have an emergency response unit, rapid response, where you can have fire, EMS, police responding within 2 to 3 minutes. Emergency must be able to respond to an emergency within 5 minutes. Otherwise, you know, it doesn't make much sense.
Excellent, excellent. And to me, you're both given these first agenda items a lot of thought. And this is what we like. The fact that you have assessed the situation, you see what the problem is, and you are offering solutions to your constituents.
Well, there's a reason for that. It's because you meet people every day. You talk to people every day. and you listen to their concerns, so you know what are the things that's priority needs in the community, in the constituency. Hence, we are able to come here and speak on it. In my first week of coming on board after winning the primary, coming on board, I had a meeting in Barnes Hill. I was summoned to a meeting in Barnes Hill, and I want to say the night to Mario Plug and Nikki and Bala and all the guys up there. I was summoned to a meeting. When I got there were about, I would say, between 30 to 40 young men and women there. And the first question put to me was, what are your plans for the constituency? And my response was, well, you know what? I'm articulate enough to stay here and talk until next week, Tuesday. But I prefer to hear what are the things that concerns you.
Wow.
And I heard enough that night that I could very well go make notes and say, okay, this is priority 1, this is priority 2, and take it from there. So yeah, it's because of our interaction with folks in the community why we can come tonight and say, jobs, emergency system.
I like the fact that you, as one of your first agenda items, you went and spoke to the people in the community. And you said to them, you want to hear from them.
Yes.
How will you involve residents in the decision-making process in your constituency once you're elected to St. George?
Well, one of the major points that I'm pushing for are community groups in each of the major villages. Community groups. Now, you have a point person, you have a community group and a point person. That person is responsible for bridging the divide between myself and the community. They have the meetings, they decide, hey, these are some of the things we want here. My job is to facilitate.
Yes.
That will be my role, facilitate. Too often we hear people get elected and they know everything. They know everything, they want to do everything, they dictate everything. That's not my style. That's not my style, and that's not the way I plan to do it. So, community groups in each community, they're the ones responsible for checking this out, finding out what's going on, so on, so forth, so forth. We need this done, we need that done, we need to get this done. My role will just to facilitate.
And to enable.
There you go.
And I like the fact that what you're doing is embracing a participatory democracy, including the people in everything that you do. When you go to Parliament, you're really going to be speaking on their behalf.
I'm representing them.
Exactly.
Mr. Bowen, a very accomplished lawyer, he cannot represent me without knowing what are my issues.
Exactly.
So he has to speak with me.
Yes.
Then he goes and represents me. That's what a representative is supposed to do.
What about you?
It's called instruction. You give me instruction.
Yes. So the community gives me instructions.
Right.
And you take it from
Right.
there.
Well, not only is it good sense and good policy to have consultation, it is also the law. When major developments are planned for the community, the law requires that the community is consulted and be heard from.
Yes.
And so I intend, with respect to development of the community, to have consultation with the people and to have their views heard, so that the project can be skewed or guided towards the interests of the majority of the people.
Yeah. And I want to hold you gentlemen to this, because a lot of representatives say that. We're going to include the people, and then they go into Parliament and really don't consult with the people. Yeah? Okay.
And I've been very critical of that for at least 20 years. So I won't fall victim.
Yes. Excellent. Excellent. Now, if you were approached with a proposal to build one new piece of public infrastructure in your constituency, a road, a drain, a bus shelter, a community center, when you spoke about the fire service and the EMS, how would you evaluate whether or not a project is worth implementing?
From your constant conversation with the community, you would know firsthand the things that they want done, the things that they're interested in, the things that will benefit the community. and then you can just weigh the balance right there.
Right.
Yes, I agree. If you had to choose between competing projects, you would want to choose the one that bring the most benefits to the most persons. And that's how you will make that trade-off. The one that bring the greatest value to the community as a whole is the one that I would tend to want to push for first.
Excellent. Well, we are hearing a lot about your plans for the constituency. We're going to talk a lot about some of the national plans as well. But we're going to take a short break because we do have some sponsors that we have to pay the bills. We have to pay the bills here at UPP TV. And we're going to come right back with our discussion on Mr. Sherfield Bowen, the right choice for St. Philip South, and of course, Algernon Watts, the right choice for St. George. Please stay with us. And I'm going to
It's time to join the family at the People's Cooperative Credit Union Limited. We offer savings accounts, deposits, fixed deposits, loans, among other related services. You can even become a shareholder by purchasing a minimum of 50 shares at $5 per share. Membership is super easy and convenient. Just visit our newly opened credit union building on Upper Newgate Street, Monday to Fridays, 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. with proof of ID and address, along with $15 to cover registration and passbook. And you'll be set and on your way. For further information, call 462-8888 or 727-2285. People's Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Today, tomorrow, together.
I just feel like people not understand me. I don't want to even give me a chance. Go school, I have skill. I'm a hard worker, but there's just not enough jobs out there. The economy is so bad that I'm ashamed to say that we're in the year 2022 and water hardly one near the pipe. Now them can't tell how we, in order to get a job, I must take the job. I understand the vaccine is a good thing and all that, but I just hate the fact that it's mandated. It's my body, it's my choice. I shouldn't be denied a job, education, or benefits because the choices I make for my body. For me, this time, personally, the UPP is the right choice because they are the party of choice.
welcome back to The Right Choice. And we're speaking with the standard bearer for St. Philip South, Mr. Sherfield P. Bowen, and the standard bearer, the right choice for St. George, Algernon Serpent Watts. Gentlemen, we have had quite a comprehensive discussion, and I'm trying now to pull up a couple of comments from Facebook and from our platforms. Somebody says Half Moon Bay will be looked at by a group of investors out of the United States who are well known and above board in terms of development. Half Moon Bay is in your constituency.
That's correct.
Mr. Bowen.
Yes.
Somebody is suggesting that you need to look at Half Moon Bay. Mm-hmm. Somebody else says it's time for fresh blood to step forward and take the reins of government in Antigua and Barbuda. I support the UPP, the right choice, and the entire slate is on fire. This is a very long comment. Try to keep your comments concise, ladies and gentlemen. The entire slate is on fire to serve without reservation. Outside of politics, they have shown us their love in serving people in the communities by standing in the trenches with the marginalized. I think they were referring to you, Algernon. We need leaders that put people first, and we are blessed this time around to have such people stepping forward. So you can say thank you graciously to them.
I think we both can.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, okay. All right, let's talk a little about your policies and programs that you have designed. I know that you have been working, talking to the people in your community, meeting with your branch executive, going door to door and so on. Tell us a little, without, because you know the other side likes to cog, without giving too much at this time. Some of the main policies and programs that will demonstrate to the people that you are the right choice.
Well, and this comes from conversation with the folks in the community. One of the things that we'll be looking to establish is a computer and job center that is going to assist the young people to seek employment. Well, not just the young, but help folks to seek employment. We'll be hosting seminars to educate constituents about the job market. Also, how to write up your resume. Because you will not believe, I mean, as you said, I'm the MD at Newsco, and some of the resumes that come in, some of the applications that come in, you want it, are you serious? Lots of people don't know how to put one together, so we're going to have some folks there who are capable to teach them how to put their CVs together. Education and scholarship committees. We have a lot of young people leaving school, want to go further, may not be able to afford it. So we're going to have some committees set up that will be looking out for the scholarships, etc. And that committee will not be headed by me, but from folks in the community.
Community leaders, yes.
There you go. So it will not be, she supports him or he supports. No. Has to be with the community. Sports and village clubs. Now, you would know, Doc, that St. George is a very, very rich sporting community.
Yes, lots of talent.
Lots and lots of talent. Okay.
And cultural as well.
Oh, so that goes without saying.
Okay.
That goes without saying. I played for teams in St. George, so I would know. And we were very proud of it. We are going out to defend, and the entire village is following you.
Yeah.
You know, it was good then, it'll be good again. Now, outreach programs, there are a number of elderlies who want to go to the doctor, to the nurse, to the clinics, etc. They don't drive. So one of the plans is to provide transportation to the elderly to and from the clinics for free. We are going to be responsible for that. The community will be responsible for that. Provide food packages, elderly care and assistance, as we have been doing so far and will continue to do. And for community projects, do you know that we have a bird sanctuary in St. George, Sherfield?
No, I
The
didn't.
doc may know that.
Yes.
I didn't.
We do. We have a bird sanctuary in St. George. So we're going to develop that with the folks of the community group, not taking it over, just assist in any which way that we can. It's a beautiful nature park, nature reserve. So even though we are in town, we do have that. And Small Business Empowerment Committee, we put in all that in place to assist the small businesses in our constituency.
It sounds like a very comprehensive plan, and clearly, again, a lot of forethought, certainly a lot of consultation has gone into many of the policies and programs that you've outlined.
Everything that I've outlined so far came from conversating.
Yes.
My word, don't change it. I'm conversating with the folks in the community.
Right. And that's important, you know, you are staying grounded and making sure that the ideas are taken on board.
So we can't say people first and ignore the people.
Exactly.
Well, in terms of St. Philip South, I have categorized areas, and the first area I want to look at is education, youth, and sports. And in that regard, I have already spoken to in fact, members of the community who are better off than most. And we have already secured commitment to fund and develop computers and devices to help the children, those who do not have the resources to acquire these devices, given the experience we have in 2020 and 2021, where some of the schooling had to be done virtually. And those families who are unable to provide the device or the internet service, we want to provide these devices as well as the hotspot so that kids who are disadvantaged will not be disadvantaged when it comes to accessing the internet and going to online schooling and a virtual classroom. So we will provide the devices as well as the hotspot to assist them. So that in terms of education, youth and sports, we want to have a center where we have people who volunteer to assist and to develop computer skills and those kind of virtual environment. In terms of the security, I spoke to that already with respect to the emergency center, and the Bethesda School is a pet peeve of mine. I was educated there. To see it in derelict is very hurtful, and so I would want to see that come back on stream to provide quality education as it has done in the past. Now, in terms of development of people, I know that we have a high percentage of farmers and fisher folks, and I would want to see development in those two sectors. Talking about like a fisheries complex where we will help the fisher folks to be able to access the necessary supplies of ice and petrol and the other things they need, and for the farmers to be able to provide silo for storage and as well as some small processing so that their yield can go further towards conversion into money rather than waste. So we want to look at that and to help in developing that area. And that's basically where we want to begin.
I like the fact that you, again, you've demonstrated that you have put a lot of energy, a lot of thought into what you want to do for the community, and you have grounded it in the people.
Yes.
You've gotten those ideas from the people.
Yes.
Listeners, viewers, remember, you can send your comments, you can send your questions in. We are going to be going on the other side of the program. We're actually winding down the program. Coming soon to UPP TV, The Right Rhythm. That's featuring popular DJs and music of the United Progressive Party relative to our messaging. The Right Rhythm premieres on Friday the 4th of March at 8 p.m. And I want to also invite you to tune in tomorrow night for a special edition of the Captain's Corner with our political leader and captain, Harold Lovell, Esquire, and friends. And they're going to discuss all of the issues that are so much on the minds of the people of Antigua and Barbuda. Captain's Corner tomorrow at 8 p.m. on UPP TV and all of our Progressive 107.3, all of our social media platforms. We're going to take one last short break, and we'll come right back to wrap up our discussion with Sherfield P. Bowen and Algernon Serpent Watts.
It's time to join the family at the People's Cooperative Credit Union Limited. We offer savings accounts, deposits, fixed deposits, loans, among other related services. You can even become a shareholder by purchasing a minimum of 50 shares at $5 per share. Membership is super easy and convenient. Just visit our newly opened credit union building on Upper Newgate Street, Monday to Fridays, 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. with proof of ID and address, along with $15 to cover registration and passbook. And you'll be set and on your way. For further information, call 462-8888 or 727-2285. People's Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Today, tomorrow, together.
I I just feel like people not understand me. I don't want to even give me a chance. Go to school, I have skill. I'm a hard worker, but there's just not enough jobs out there. The economy is so bad that I'm ashamed to say that we're in the year 2022 and water hardly one near the pipe. Now them can't tell how we, in order to get a job, I must take the job. I understand the vaccine is a good thing and all that, but I just hate the fact that it's mandated. It's my body, it's my choice. I shouldn't be denied a job, education or benefits because the choices I make for my body. For me, this time, personally, the UPP is the right choice because they are the party of choice.
Welcome back to the final segment of The Right Choice. And our guests this evening are Sherfield P. Bowen. He is the standard bearer for St. Philip's South, and Algernon Serpent Watts, the standard bearer for St. George Constituency. Gentlemen, we have really done a tour de force. It has been an evening where you've shared a lot, where you have given some of your vision and your plans and programs for the constituency. I wanted to just drill down a little on the leadership qualities, the professional expertise, your experience. What would you say are the qualities that would make you the right choice for St. George, for St. Philip's South? People are going to the polls, they're going to crowd the X. Why would they select Algernon Watts? Why would they select Sherfield Bowen? What qualities you bring to the table?
I don't mislead people. What you see is what you get. If I can do it, I'll do it. If I can't, I'll tell you that I can't. I'm not gonna, as they say, mama guy you. Okay? Too often we have people who just lie to people just for the sake of lying. I'm not gonna lie to you to get your vote. If there's something that is requested of me and I can assist in any which way, I will. If I can't, I'll be the first to tell you I'm not able to. So yeah, I'm a man of my word. And I think that says a lot.
In terms of community development and representation, as I said in the beginning, I'm going to say again, that the most important quality is just loving people and just loving your community and wanting the best for your community. I think if you are guided by just that love and the desire to make a difference, that will drive you to do the best you can in developing the community. So when the choice is being presented as to the two candidates that is coming to you, maybe you should ask yourself, who is it that really cares about the community? Who is it that has a connection to the community? Who is it that want to help the entire community to lift itself up rather than lift the person up? And you will get your answer right there, because the love of the community, the desire to lift up the community, that should be the motivation for service rather than a desire to lift up yourself.
I mean, you guys are giving me goose pimples actually. In the way that you are selling yourselves to the constituents of St. Philip's South and St. George. How can voters learn about your plans and programs? Here is where you can perhaps share the various platforms that you're using. How, I mean, if you have an office, contacts, that kind of thing?
I have a fully staffed office that's open 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, from 9 until whenever. We say 4, but sometimes we're there until all hours of the night. And we see people on a daily basis. We are right now in the Barnes Hill area constructing another one, so that the folks from the Barnes Hill, New Winthrop's, Powell's area wouldn't have to venture all the way to Potters to see me. And I'm there lots of times. I can't be there all the time because I'm busy in the constituency, meeting and greeting and talking with people. But yeah, the number is 463-1111. 463-1111. And you can meet me there, get me there, set an appointment, and I will meet with you. Meet with you.
In the process, we're just in the process of opening up our constituency branch office. We have secured a building. It is now being equipped and will be ready for opening very soon. Fortunately for me, St. Philip South is one of the smaller communities. So I think that we may be able to get by, just as the previous representative, with one constituency office, and that will be in the larger of the villages, Bethesda, and accessible to everyone in the community. So that's where we are at right now. We're not yet fully open. We're just in the process of getting it together.
I'm trying to get through some of the comments that we have here on our social media platform. Just tune in, UPP all the way, interesting program. The program needs to be extended. Whoever heads up your campaign team is amazing. You guys thought of everything. I'm super impressed. Those are some of the comments. Somebody's asking about Barbuda, but I don't think they can seriously ask you to give them plans for Barbuda. Mr. Bowen, earlier when we spoke about something that we would not have thought about you. You said that you're a jovial person, you're a humorous person, so I think we have had enough time for you to crack a joke. Tell us that humorous side, give us something, leave us with something.
Well, just to say that I won a joking competition.
Oh, you did?
A long time ago, but I would have to prepare myself to get you all fired up.
Okay, all right. So when was that?
Now, as a Boys Brigade, Youth Fellowship in my early years.
Okay, all right. So the next time we have you on the right choice, we're going to have Mr. Bowen give us one of his really, his great jokes.
Right.
Gentlemen, we're winding down the time, and I want you to just take a little time to look into the camera, speak to your constituents, speak to the nation of Antigua and Barbuda, and tell them why you are the right choice for St. George, for St. Philip South, and for Antigua and Barbuda.
Well, to my fellow constituents of St. George, you knew me. Grew up, born, grew, raised with you, went to school with you. We struggled together. And now that I am here in a position to help you along, help everyone along, I am willing, ready, able to stand in the gap for you. As I said earlier, what you see is what you get. So I am who you know. And I'm confident, very confident, that I am the right choice for St. George.
Good. Dear people of Bethesda, Freetown, St. Philip's, Piccadilly, you have known me. I am your family. I am your neighbor. I am your friend. I am just the guy next door. You will have a choice to elect and select a person to represent the community. I'm asking you to consider, of the two candidates, who loves the community, who loves the people, who wants to do this for you rather than for themselves? Who is it that wants to bring real development to our community? Who is it that wants to lift everyone up? I think the answer is very clear, and the answer is very simple. Sheffield Bowen is the right choice. You also will have a choice to pick a government, and there will be two major parties coming seeking your support. You will have a chance to choose either the one who puts people first, the one who is interested in moving and lifting people, or the one who declares quite unashamedly that you must look about self-improvement for yourself, self-development, self-enrichment, who has demonstrated, oh, my wife is not yet 30 and is a millionaire. Oh, we are richer than everybody else. Every week you hear these stories, talking down to the other section of the community and talking up themselves. You will have that choice. Do you want more of that, or do you want a people-first, a people-centered government? You make the right choice. The United Progressive Party is the right choice. This is a very easy equation. UPP, the right choice. Sheffield Bowen, the right choice. Algernon Serpent Watt, the right choice. Alistair Thomas, the right choice. All the others, the right choice.
And some people may say the only choice.
I endorse.
We've been speaking with Mr. Sheffield Bowen and Algernon Serpent Watts, the standard bearer for St. Philip South and for St. George. We want to encourage you to join us again next week. Next week we're going to have two other candidates, Brother Jonathan Joseph, the candidate for St. Mary's North, and Brother Anthony Smith Jr., the candidate for All Saints West. They will be our guests on The Right Choice. I just want to share with you that we have some bush tea here. All of us have these mugs, these lovely mugs with our bush tea. I think, Serpent, what you have inside that? You look like you have coffee. And
no,
Mr. Bowen,
I'm Adventist, please.
Mr. Bowen,
I will choose bush tea as well.
He's having bush tea as well. These mugs are compliments of Juliet Versailles of Creative Arts and Crafts. She is an entrepreneur from Old Road Village, and I want you to give her a call, 775-4230. She's one of the sponsors. Thank you very much, Juliet, for giving us these lovely mugs that we can have our coffee and our bush tea. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, all of our viewers, all of our listeners, this program, The Right Choice, every Wednesday night, same time, same place, on any of the platforms that you want to look at them. I am your host, Jackie Quinn. Have a good night.
I just feel like people not understand me. I don't want to even give me a chance. Go to school, I have skill. I'm a hard worker, but there's just not enough jobs out there. The economy is so bad that I'm ashamed to say that we're in the year 2022 and water hardly one near the pipe. Now them can't tell how we, in order to get a job, I must take the job. I understand the vaccine is a good thing and all that, but I just hate the fact that it's mandated. It's my body, it's my choice. I shouldn't be denied a job, education, or benefits because the choices I make for my body. For me, this time, personally, the UPP is the right choice because they are the party of choice.
It's time to join the family at the People's Cooperative Credit Union Limited. We offer savings accounts, deposits, fixed deposits, loans, among other related services. You can even become a shareholder by purchasing a minimum of 50 shares at $5 per share. Membership is super easy and convenient. Just visit our newly opened credit union building on Upper Newgate Street, Monday to Fridays, 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. with proof of ID and address, along with $15 to cover registration and passbook. And you'll be set and on your way. For further information, call 462-8888 or 727-2285. People's Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Today, tomorrow, together.
The United Progressive Party. The right choice.